with DIY mental boost. Let me see if I can lower this down for a better thing on my, let's see here. Let's see if that's better. I think that's better. This is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost, and I advocate and present for your brain. So your brain is your best advocate and supporter when you know how it functions and what it does. And so what I like to do is to share how when you think your brain is working against you, when you have anxiety and worry and you don't think that you have any say-so on what your brain is doing, it's only because of the gap in our education for neuroplasticity. Once you understand the gap and understand what it's all about, then you learn the power that you have. So right now I'm going to get into make sure that I am being heard. So I'm going to get into my stream and see how that goes. Let's see here. Okay. We're going to be talking today about coping and managing. Okay. We're going to learn the difference between coping and managing and the difference between prevention and resolution, because there is a big difference between the two things and the results that you have in your life. You'll notice stress and worry is usually dealt with prevention and coping, which means that you cope and manage through stress and worry, but it keeps reoccurring, or the same things keep recurring, because the concept is it's something that you have to cope and manage, not something that you can actually prevent or resolve. Okay, so that is the difference between coping and managing and prevention and resolution, is that you actually can resolve or prevent. Isn't that nice? I liked that concept when I heard about it. And then as I learned to do that, I truly, really did appreciate it. So let's see here where I'm going into. See where I need to go. Create. Go live. Now I should be live. I hope I'm live right now. I hope that you are actually seeing and hearing me, and I'm about to check it out right now to see if that is the case. Here I am. And I'll unmute it. Okay, we are a go. Goody, 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 goody. Okay, so coping and managing. Coping and managing basically has the concept, this is just something that happens. It's just part of life, and you have to learn in life how to cope and manage with stress and worry. That's pretty much what I was taught. I don't know if that's what you were taught, but that's kind of the concept that I got. Okay, because sometimes we're taught things and we pick up different messages. But I never heard anything about prevention and resolution. That worry wasn't something that we had to do. And stress was something that was not something we had to have in our daily life. So that's what we're doing today. We're actually going to learn how you can change any coping and managing that you happen to do, that you're familiar with, and change it into a prevention and resolution. How does that sound? Isn't that exciting? I think that sounds exciting. So I want to welcome all for being here. I appreciate that you're here listening with me and hearing how it is that your brain can do way more than what you imagine. Neuroplasticity is the way that your brain was designed, and it can do amazing things for you when you understand how it talks to you. Neuroplasticity, like I said, is a gap in our education. That's all it is. It's kind of like if you were in school and they never taught you how to read and write, and then later on in life you're trying to learn to read and write. It seems like it would be a hard thing to do, or you're like, oh, reading and writing? What good does that do? Well, it does a lot of good, and so does neuroplasticity. You need to learn about this if you want to learn how to not stress and worry. So welcome everybody who's come. I'm so glad that you're here. And we are going to be dealing with coping and managing skills that you like and you want to turn them into prevention and resolution. So with DIY Mental Boost, what we do is we want to make anything that has to do with our mind pleasant, fast, and lasting. We want it to be something that everyone is eager to do, to understand their mind, to deal with emotions, and not to be afraid of them. So let's all learn a little bit something today. So is there a particular coping and managing technique that you have learned that you do? Some people do breathing, some people do meditation, some people do CBT. There's many different, have you heard of any of those? Or is it anything that you have used before? Even counseling, that's a coping and managing one. Unless, of course, you have a counselor who knows how to do prevention and resolution, which is basically resolving all of those issues that come up that they're saying maybe stem to your past. So who knows anything like that? Okay, who knows anything like that? Meditation, maybe something like CBT. I had done CBT, so I was very familiar. It's cognitive behavior therapy. It's one where you learn to rephrase what you're thinking. And I'm telling you, it took a lot of work for me to do that. It worked but I always was constantly getting re-triggered and had to go back to counseling. Like something would happen, get really stressful, and I would start to feel, oh, I don't have control anymore, or anxious. So CBT was good, but at the same time, it was limited in how long that it lasts and how much work I had to do CBT. Those are coping and managing tools. Now, coping and managing is good. We're not saying it's bad, because sometimes you're right in the middle of something, and do you have time to sit down and to, oh, where is this coming from? So you want to do quick something that helps your brain to calm down so that you can proceed with what you want to do. Okay, so coping and managing is good. So you'll see a lot of those. They'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe they have little stemming things that they do, if you've ever heard of that. Those are all coping and managing. So what we want to do is we want to elevate it from, we're going to level up. We're going to level up from coping and managing, and we're going to get into prevention and resolution. Prevention and resolution is that the issue is addressed, why you're feeling a certain way, why you're thinking certain thoughts. You address them. And it's actually easy. We use the 3-step thought process. If you want to know what that is or how to use that, it's at DIYmentalboost.com. It's an online free website. It has a Date Your Brain course, and it has the 3-step thought process course, so you can learn about your brain, neuroplasticity, so you can understand that it can eliminate stress and worry. We're not taught it can. It's very vague. It is out there, because I discovered it was online. I was like, what? So it's out there, but it's not taught in mainstream education. Okay? So I joined the ranks of the ones who are out there sharing the message. So it's an online website. And those courses, you can just go ahead and get those courses and learn a little bit more about the 3-step thought process and about neuroplasticity. But today, we're actually dealing with those who actually use the 3-step thought process already. They've been using the Mental Bliss self-sessions. So those are the videos that are on my website. You can pick any one, and you can just sit down. It's going to ask you a question, and you just start doing it. You don't have to learn anything. And at the end, you will notice there's a mental shift, because we're about subconscious rewiring. 3 things on this website: neuroplasticity, which is how your brain is designed; emotional intelligence, which is understanding what things is good and what things we're doing that is not helping us as much as we want; and then subconscious rewiring. So not just saying, hey, your brain is saying this message and it's, it's not helping you any, but then you have a tool to get that message to be resolved inside here in your subconscious. Isn't that exciting? I think that's exciting. And I hope that you enjoy hearing what I have to say. So, DIYmentalboost.com, that's where you can go and get those free courses. And if you're actually doing self sessions and you want it in a more step-by-step order, I do have online courses that you can use off of YouTube, and you can make a donation, and then you can use those websites. Just, check and see which course, look at the first video, see if you like it. If you like it, then do that whole course and make a donation for it. Okay, so the 3-step thought process is 3 things. Exactly how they work, you can take the online course to know. Okay, that's on the website, DIYmentalboost.com. But I'm going to tell you very simple. So step 1 is actually identifying what is the issue, what is the problem, what is the sensation. Number 2 is actually a re-engagement of the mind, which causes the brain to start to unlink the unpleasant sensation, the unpleasant thought, the unpleasant feeling that you have. Okay, and then step 3 brings in a different emotion that helps to continue the unlinking. It's so exciting. And so you get to do this 3 steps, and you just keep repeating them. This is what makes it more than just a distraction or a coping, okay? It's the repetitiveness of exactly how you actually created the sensation or the thought because of ruminating over it. So now what you're doing is you're interrupting it. And each time you interrupt it, it loses its power. Isn't that exciting? And you don't have to talk yourself into convincing yourself to feel differently about something else, or to try to, make rhyming or reasoning why it's not so bad. All you do is 3 steps. And nice, isn't that? And so, what is it that you like to do? Okay, let's say, for instance, that you like to dance. Okay, let's say you like to dance, you like music. Well, you can use the 3-step thought process with music. That's what you do. So you think what's going on. You do a re-engagement of the mind, which is your dancing that you like to do. And then that making sure with that dancing that you're bringing in this really, what is it, exciting or feel good or smooth or cool or whatever it is that you want. And then you start back at 1 again. You stop and say, okay, how am I feeling about this? What do I still see? What do I still feel? Is there images that I'm seeing? Is there sensation? Is it somewhere in my body? Okay. And then you do step 2 again. You do your dancing. I actually have a video. I have a video that talks about you can dance away your blues. And then I also have what would be is 2 videos that actually take you through a self session with dancing. Okay, so that is also available. Okay, so that's pretty cool when you think about that. So if you like dancing, because you want to make addressing yourself, addressing your mind, something that is pleasant. And that's what we do at DIY Mental Boost. Everything is pleasant, fast results, and lasting. So at the end of each session, when you make a self session, you will get results. So does anyone have any questions right now? If you have a question, type it in, and I will always make sure that I reply to it in the comments if you have a question. Okay, so let's say you like to do gratitudes. You like to write gratitudes, and they teach you to do gratitudes. Gratitudes is another coping and managing. But what happens with gratitudes is this. If you're doing a gratitude, usually it's because at this moment, thank you, at this moment, you're not really feeling that gratitude. I do gratitudes, but I feel my gratitudes. I'm not actually trying to convince myself to be grateful. I actually do feel grateful. Okay? So gratitudes are good, but they're more effective and faster when you do the three-step thought process. So how do you do that with that? So you're writing down that you feel grateful for blah, 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 whatever it is. But you're not really feeling it. So what you do is take a deep breath and you do that re-engagement of the mind. Something that you really like to think about, something that's pleasant to you. Or maybe I like to play little games. And so what you would do is you would look around the room and, oh, I see a bear. So you would say BEAR and then spell it backward, RAEB. You're re-engaging the mind, you're making the mind do something. It's interrupting. So you're like saying, I'm grateful, for blah, 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 but you're not really feeling it. So you're like, okay, I'm not really grateful for it. And then you're going to interrupt that. And then step 3 is thinking of something peaceful and happy that you experienced before or you would like to experience. And each time you do that, 1, 2, 3 round, 1, 2, 3 round, it starts to unlink the concept that your brain is telling you that you're fat or you're ugly or you're trying to convince yourself you're beautiful or you're trying to convince yourself that you're strong or you're trying to convince yourself that you're not afraid, but you are. Okay, so when you're doing gratitudes or affirmations, because that's also affirmations and gratitudes are actually basically the same thing. So an affirmation is something when you say it, and believe it or not, it could be positive or negative. Many people don't realize it. When they think they're doing affirmations, they don't realize that every day they look in the mirror and say, oh, my hair is ugly, or, what's that on my face? Those pimples make me look bad. You're actually affirming it so that the more your brain looks at it, it continues to make it look worse and worse within your eyes. Because your brain is designed to give you what you say. And if you say you ugly, it's going to try to make you look as ugly in your eyes as you can. I remember when I was working with my hair, I was having a lot of frizz. And I just kept saying, oh, it's frizzy, frizzy. It just kept getting frizzy and frizzier. And then I was like, Renee, what are you doing? What are you saying? So I stopped and I was like, hold on. I know what to do here. And then I started using things that made my hair not so frizzy. My brain actually gave me things to help me make my hair not look so frizzy. Whereas before, everything I was doing was looking frizzier and frizzier. So remember your brain, okay? Its job is to do the status quo of what you tell it. If you tell it that you are healthy, it is going to try to keep you healthy. If you try to say that you know how to solve things really fast, it's going to try to solve things really fast for you. So when you're doing affirmations, if you're saying, oh, I'm a quick learner, but you don't really believe it, that's why it seems like they don't work. Because your subconscious and your conscious mind, they're not in sync. So you want to get them in sync. So if you're saying I'm a fast learner and you don't believe it, then you just take a deep breath and say, well, actually, I don't believe I'm a fast learner. Take that deep breath. And then do the second step, which is re-engage the mind. Okay? That's exactly what we do. We re-engage their mind. So everyone who's joined, we are learning about coping and managing versus prevention and resolution. Okay? We are actually learning the difference so that we can level up. We'll level up from meditating, level up from gratitudes, affirmations that seem to take a long time, doing a journey that's super, super long, and we're still dealing with something that we were dealing with a year ago. Okay, that's because we're using coping and managing skills that are not designed to prevent and resolve. So the 3-step thought process, it presents and it resolves. Interesting, isn't it? So again, affirmations, gratitudes, you use the 3-step thought process with it. You can get all your gratitudes and affirmations that you feel that you like, but you can make your brain feel that they're true, and then it starts to be true, because that's the way it works. You have to feel it inside first, and then it starts to manifest on the outside. That's why out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Okay, so whatever in here will start to come out. And that's what you want. So again, you can do dancing if you like dancing. Romance. You could use romance. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Those are all different things that once you know the 3-step thought process, you can just start using them and get the results. Exercise. I actually have some videos. You can exercise and do a rewire at the same time. Cool. Other than that, because you're doing the three-step thought process. You're like, what's the problem? What's going on? Then you re-engage your mind and do a little workout or something. Bring in a good emotion. Usually, remember, exercise does what? What does it boost in you? Most people who know about exercise, they know what that does, right? Boost different hormones in you. Okay? So once you understand your brain, your mind, and different things, you can do many, many, many different wonderful things all on your own. Okay? So far, for those who have done the three-step thought process, you can try those other things. Helps to break things up. Helps to make it interesting. So that your brain is always growing. Because the brain likes variety, right? It likes variety. There are 6 basic human needs, and one of them is variety. And that's why sometimes if we have an issue with changing, we also end up with feeling discontent because we're not growing. We're doing the same thing year after year, year after year, year after, because we're afraid to change, do something different, change a job. We're afraid of change. So remember, when you're doing coping and managing, the difference is in the moment, it's bringing it down a little bit, making things more manageable. That's coping and managing. It means something's going on and you're going to, kind of adjust into it. Prevention and resolution. Okay? That's going leveling up beyond coping and managing. That's actually saying, hey, why is it that I have this reaction? Why is it that I am not being able to handle what's going on? Why do I think this is stressful? Why is it that I don't like this? Why is it that I'm afraid? And you can address it in a pleasant, fast, and lasting way. There's no need to be traumatizing ourselves. The videos that are there are used to guide you. And if you want to do the course, it'll help you to go through specific things, such as you're having a unwanted thought. There's 7 different videos, and each of those ones I help you to go through so that you can start to understand what's going on in your mind, but to also alleviate. So when you're done, you should have a really good handle on a particular subject that was bothering you. And then you can always use it on another subject. Those are those online courses that are available for you that you can use on YouTube. Okay? So, coping and managing. So who in the notes, in their comments, can tell me, what do they think is the difference between coping and managing versus resolution and prevention? Because you have to decide if that's what you want. Okay? Because a lot of times we're so used to coping and managing, the brain is used to the high intensity of low vibe emotions. So it doesn't want it because it doesn't feel good, but it's so used to using it, it doesn't think it can use any other thing. It doesn't think it can apply to any other situation, anything but the low vibe reaction that it's happening. So that's why with DIY Mental Boost, we also teach you emotional intelligence, right? Because there's a lot. CBT does that. I like to use their stuff so you can see, hey, these are the things they tell you that are cognitive distortions, and that we can actually stop using those. So a lot of times say, well, you're doing this because of this. This is what happened. Yada, 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 yada. And you're going to feel this way. Okay. But do you have to feel that way? Can you rewire your subconscious to feel a different way when a certain situation comes on? Yes, you can. But if the brain is used to using lower vibe, it won't see how. That's why you have the mental bliss soul sessions. You do it and the brain gets freed. It gets freed. So that you can do what it is that you want. You don't have to be stopping and pausing for days and weeks or even years to work through something. That's coping and managing. But prevention and resolution, sit down, address it, and you're going to see results until you get it to where it is not impeding your life in the way that you are saying that it is, that's making it uncomfortable. So this is a tool. This is a tool that you can use. You can choose to use that is out there. Okay? If you decide you're going through something and you do not want to have that emotional burden on you anymore, use the tool. That's the way it works. It's available. Now, each time you start using these, you're going to get better at it and faster. And pretty soon, you won't need to do the 3-step thought process because your brain will have been trained how to do it. You'll notice it right away because you'll notice that your brain is already adapting to things. And so instead of getting as irritated as it would, it does it. Okay? Or something that would have bothered you before, you're like, wow, that don't bother me anymore. That's cool. So the more, that's why it's pleasant, fast, and lasting. That's why it's pleasant, because you really get boosted up about yourself. Awesome, right? So coping, managing, good, beneficial, has its place. When we want to get to something and address it so that it is no longer impeding us in our lives, engaging our mind, engaging our emotions, and stealing them away and stealing our joy, you do prevention and resolution. But again, remember, the brain is used to coping and managing and staying in that state of low vibe. So it'll need your conscious effort to decide to sit down and do a self-session. But once you sit down and do it, the change will happen. So I cannot force you to do a self-session. I can't convince you to do one unless you want to do one. And then when you do one, you will get results. Okay? I mean, I could probably pay you to do one and you do it. But you're going to have to build your own resilience. Each time you do a mental self-session, you build mental resilience. So you will be the one who gets the job. You will be the one who gets the award. You will be the one who stays healthy when everyone else around you is getting sick. Because remember, your high vibe emotions help your brain to sustain goodness in your life. It helps you to resolve things, make good choices, mental clarity, energy. Keep your immune system up. Keep you healthy. Okay? That is the benefit of learning how to address things, because then your brain gets used to knowing to stay healthy. Right now, it goes back and forth. Oh, it's flu season. Oh, okay, everybody gets sick. It's flu season. Why is that an affirmation that you wish to put out for your brain to say it's, oh, you're going to get sick, or you're aging, you're going to, oh my. Once you learn about neuroplasticity, your language and your emotion and feeling inside about yourself and those things around you will start to elevate and level up. So, should we do something today? Should we level up? We've done about 28 minutes of me helping you to see how coping and managing is different than prevention and resolution, and how you can use dancing, exercising, romance, gratitudes, affirmations, to things that you like to make it even more pleasant. I think my videos are quite pleasant. That's me. So you can use them anytime. But there's other options. And don't forget, I have the videos that do the exercising and the videos that do the dancing and enhance. I actually have a course for enhanced affirmations and gratitudes. So I put it out there so that you can enjoy it. I know you're going to love them, love them, love them, love them. And I love my hearts. Thank you. Anytime, leave me a heart. That's good. That's good vibes. That's good vibes for me. So are we enjoying what I am saying so far today? Do you have an understanding? Does it make you feel that you have more influence about what your mind is doing? Okay, so let's do that. We're going to get rid of any resistance to, or lower the resistance to working on ourselves, because maybe we're afraid of change. Maybe our brain says, oh, I don't really understand this, so I can't. Okay, that's okay, because take a deep breath. There's nothing for you to learn but to sit down and do those videos. Okay? Change is good. Is it safe for your brain to release low vibe emotions? What do you think? Or do you think that it's needed in order to heal or to resolve or to express yourself? So you have to, you want to feel better, but You really still want to not like someone. You really still want to hate someone. You really want to get upset if someone hurts your feelings still. They shouldn't hurt your feelings. Because remember, this is not about what's right and wrong, good and bad. This is about deciding, do I want to feel bad because someone is not being nice to me, or do I want to sustain my joy? And whatever it is that you're dealing with a situation with, once you decide that's what you want, you have a tool. That's what I have. You could use it for whatever you want. So take a deep breath. And let's say I don't think working with my brain is easy. I have many different things that I have seen or that I have done, and I don't wish or think that it's safe. It doesn't feel right. Take a deep breath. And then look around you and see any kind of object that you may see. I see a notebook, I see a Bible, I see a shirt. And you're going to spell that forward, and then you're going to spell it backwards. Okay? We're doing a little quick self session here. Come along and do it with me. You'll enjoy the results. Good job. Now keep looking around. I see a coat. I see a mirror. If you see a coat, COAT, TAOC. This is step 2, re-engagement of the mind. And keep going, seeing what you're seeing around you. You can even do something like A is for apple, APPLE, ELPPA, B is for boy, BOY, YOB. You do whichever one you want. A little simpler re-engagement of the mind. Take a deep breath. Good job. Now think of something happy, something pleasant that you would like to happen in your life. Not about what you think about yourself. This is not about, oh, I think I'm this, but you don't feel it. No, something that you've experienced, that when you've experienced, you felt so good, okay? Or something that you want to do, and you feel really good and excited about it, okay? You should put a smile. You should feel it. I'm a music girl, so if you start seeing me this, it's because I'm doing music in my head. I'm listening a lot to Abel Hart. He has a song that I like. Enjoy the ride. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, so now think about why it is that it may be difficult, or why you might not be into working with yourself, that you feel that your mind is complicated, your past experiences or things that have happened to you, they're just too much, they're too heavy. There's not something that could just be addressed like this. It's much more serious. And so whatever it is, or it's too emotional, or it's the only way you think you should react and feel because that's your right, which is true. Take a deep breath. Start back down the alphabet. If you're on G, go to G. If you want to look around for other objects in your place, do that. Spell them forward and then spell them backwards. Marker. Marker. I always have this marker here. I don't know why. It's too big for me to use. Marker. Spell it forward. Spell it backwards. Oh, look. I have my glasses. Glasses. I got a curtain behind me. Now take a deep breath. Let it out. And think of something pleasant, something you always wanted to do, something that makes you feel serene or content or joyful, excited about something. Take a deep breath. Think about anything that makes you feel pleasant and happy. Things that you do. Things that you like. Okay. So now just think about working with your mind and addressing things that have bothered you, or feeling that it's your right to feel a certain way, which is true. Okay. But then at the same time, you say you don't want to feel that way. Take a deep breath. The confusion that you're having between wanting to feel good, but at the same time wanting to hold on to what you believe you should feel about something, because it is, the brain cannot make you feel good about something if you're going to keep saying it's worst thing ever happened in your life, or it's something you're never going to get over. That's two programs it's running about the same thing. So you have to decide which program you want. Take a deep breath. If you're, always feeling sick, decide you want to feel sick or feel better. Tell the brain, you know what, I prefer feeling better. Yeah, you're not going to sit there and say, oh, I'm always going to just be this way. I always hurt. When I eat this, those are all affirmations telling the brain to continue to do what it's going to do. Take a deep breath. I'm always going to feel this way. It's not going to change. I don't have time to invest. I'm so busy. I'm tired. Whatever it is, take a deep breath. Let it out. Engage the mind. Look around. Spell some words or start with K. K is for kangaroo. Spell it forward, backwards. These are all the re-engagement of the mind is where the unlinking starts. Keep going, doing good. Sometimes you can actually do writing with your opposite writing hand. See an object, write it. Also, you could do when you're writing, sometimes you can even hum while you're doing it. Anything that's going to engage that mind. It's going to re-engage it. It has to think to do something. That's why spelling backwards works so well, because we're not used to spelling backwards, but I'm getting really good at spelling backwards now. But it still works on me because my brain knows what to do. So it just, it kind of goes along. And even if you're listening to me, that's a re-engagement of the mind. Take a deep breath and think of something happy and pleasant that you like. Makes you feel good. And as you do this, it gets faster and faster. Remember, at the beginning, you may have to do longer sessions, but pretty soon your brain gets faster, faster, and faster when it has to do a subconscious rewiring. When you decide you want to, I can do them super fast. I can do them like in under a minute. My brain is used to it. It knows once I tell it to address something. It's like, oh, I gotta address it now. She's gonna keep going for another 15, 20 minutes. No, the brain loves our involvement of understanding it. It thrives because it's like if you have a car and you know how to take care of it, how your car lasts longer, it does things, whereas if you don't, you have issues or things like that. If you don't change the oil or check the tires or all those kind of things. So your brain, it thrives. Very good, John. Okay. So again, I don't have the time. I'm busy. I'm just not motivated. What you can do is adjust whatever it is that you're not having that you want, and then re-engage the mind, and then go ahead and think of those objects or the game or whatever you want to do, and think of the happy place. So that's the 3 steps. You want to know more about it, go to DIYmentalboost.com. I've got that course on there for you to use. So are there any questions about how the difference between coping and managing versus prevention and resolution? See, mainstream teaches coping and managing, and the reason why people think the brain is complicated is because there's been no education on neuroplasticity. And coping and managing is something you have to keep doing and 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 doing every day. If I don't do this, I don't feel good. If I don't meditate, if I don't do this, I can't. Okay. That comes with coping and managing. It keeps something in a complicated state if it's not then addressed with prevention and resolution. And then that's why many people feel that the mind is complicated and emotions are hard. And it's only because we weren't taught about neuroplasticity and shown how to address any thought, any situation, any feeling, any sensation with our own mind. We may feel, oh, I need someone to help me with this. That's fine. But a lot of times when we go, they can tell us what they think things are coming from, but then to release it, there's no like clear cut. What do you do? This is what you do. Clear cut, 1, 2, 3 steps. And you start cleaning things up. Any questions? Anybody wanting to know anything? So remember, everything is on DIYmentalboost.com. The Date Your Brain course, the 3-step thought process course, you can get those. There are even worksheets. If you like to do work, if you like to write things out, do the worksheets. Those are good. They're there for you. And then on YouTube, we have the online courses. They are actually condensed by specific. So if you're trying to boost weight loss, or if you've got a specific unwanted thought, or if you're trying to make peace with different emotions, you do those courses. Those online courses are available for donation basis. They're listed there. You can always check out the first video, see if it's interesting, and then decide that you want to complete that course. Okay, it'll keep track of where you're at, so don't worry about that. There's also a sheet that you can download off of DIYmentalboost.com. I call it the online course progress worksheets. You can kind of check mark, and then it teaches you how to double check what's going on after you finish the course to see how your reactions are different, your feelings are different, things are different. So you get some nice little step-by-step guidance on that. Okay, so DIYmentalboost.com. That's where you're going to go. Download that worksheet if you want, or if you want those 2 courses. And then the online courses that we have on YouTube, they're available. They usually have 7 to 8 videos in them, because when you're going to address a particular thing, thought, situation, whatever, you'll have 7 or 8. That'll help you to address it. And you may not even have to do all 7 and 8. You might get it in the first 2 videos. Who knows? But the point is, they're there. So that you can benefit from it. Okay? And then if you get, let's say you're stuck. You've worked it and it doesn't seem to be budging as much as you want it to, don't forget, skillstochange.com. That's where the practitioners are. They're the ones who know they do this all the time. They can get you over that hump pretty quick, like in a session. So you have skillstochange.com for that. But I teach it DIY. So I'm showing you how to have power, mental power, physical power, emotional power. Okay? So life does not have to feel like it is burdensome and that you can't navigate through it. When you build mental resilience, as you start to help your brain to address things, it will start to know how to navigate things and stop freezing up and giving you mental fog and you'll get more mental clarity instead of telling you it's tired all the time and it's exhausted. It won't be doing that. It'll give you lots of energy for the things that you say you want to do. It'll also help you to keep balance. It'll help you know how to refresh yourself in a way that's refreshing instead of possibly doing refreshments that isn't refreshing to you or that makes you more tired, takes more energy out of you. So this is Renee Thomas with DIY Mental Boost. I know that you enjoyed today's session about coping and managing versus prevention and resolution, and why we want to boost ourselves to level up to prevention and resolution. There's no need to spend weeks, months, and years on things that have happened to us that we did not want. Unwanted situations, unwanted or unexpected situations or unknown. There's no need to have a fear of them and that they're going to hold us down. Okay? Does it have to happen that way? We actually have something that was wonderfully made and given to us, and it's in here, and you just didn't know it. That's all. I was surprised. I was like, what? Why did they not teach us this in school? That's okay, they don't, because it's out there. You start looking up neuroplasticity, subconscious rewiring, you start looking up different ones, you're going to see it all out there. But what I like about my website is I put neuroplasticity, subconscious rewiring, and emotional intelligence all together so that you can understand it all at once. I actually had to learn, come back, learn from here, and then get all kinds of stuff. It took me quite a while to do all that, but I did well with it, and I enjoyed it. Took me a little bit to do it, but I appreciate I did it. But I am simplifying it for you. You don't have to watch the 600 videos and research all kinds of stuff and practice and come back and figure out how to practice. I made it all simple. It's just there. Sit down. Start it. And be the one who gets that job. Be the one who is the first person in your family to do blah, 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 blah. Be the one who gets the promotion. Be the one who, it's okay. We live in a society that you might feel guilty if you're elevating yourself over others. Like you have to wait for others to catch up. No, you don't. No, you don't. Everybody goes at their own pace. You can keep going and striving and succeeding and being where you want to be, and stop being afraid. Doing things based off of fear. That you're going to stay here, not do this, not go there. You have all of these fears. And if you want to release those fears to see what you really can do, this is the website to do it on. I'm glad you're here. I want to thank everyone for being here. I appreciate it. Again, like I said, DIYmentalboost.com for those free courses. Use the online YouTube courses that I have here, and you give a donation for that. I appreciate and I believe in the users of my courses that they appreciate it and follow through with donations if they use the course. But it is there. I give those links out for them, for people to have and to access it. Okay, it is there. You'll see that if you're wandering around in some video, and it'll say on there that it's attached to a course. Yeah, get that course and start it. So thank you again. I appreciate everyone's comments, everyone who's here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think that we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. Again, try those dancing ones or the exercising ones. Your brain will love it. It'll be like, okay, this is kind of fun and cool. And then you may start to see how the brain kind of likes using that form. Okay? So thank you for being here. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you next week, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, Mountain Standard Time. Ciao, ciao.